Welcome to D2 Bites, a show where we serve up quick conversations about marketing over snacks. I'm Laura Lenchitsky. Joining me today are Melissa Silva and Britton Shin. And we're talking about medical device marketing in a regulated world. Stick around. So tell me about some of the constraints that you come across and where you're feeling the most restraint in what you can and cannot do or say.
I think it's copy. I think it's the words on pages primarily, or on whatever the media is, and then the images follow like right behind that. Because the industry is regulated but not universally regulated, organizations regulate themselves. So it's really the appetite for risk that particular legal organization has, I think, that ultimately makes the decision.
Definitely copy would be number one, especially I think any creative would probably say that, right? Because, if you want to be able to push the envelope or say something, like a little different or new, you're really kind of boxed in to what you can say.
What are ways that we can help streamline a med legal review process?
I mean, there's only so much you can do. I think, unfortunately, as much as we want to be creative, you have to play within the rules. That's the way to get your assets approved for use as fast as possible, is making sure that you're playing by the rules. So making sure that you're using appropriate language, I think making sure that you're aligned with your clients on what their approved claims are, what sort of studies that they have that you can utilize in terms of scientific evidence to back up any sort of hard claims that you're making.
And what role is AI playing? Because there are some settings on campaigns or ways that you can use AI for targeting or ways that you can use AI to generate content. How does that fit in with companies' appetite for risk and with regulation?
Well, first of all, I'm really surprised we're talking about AI. I mean, we never have those conversations. No, I think that I get asked this a lot, not only by people within this organization, but externally, and what role is AI playing? And I think for the most part, our clients are not interested in AI participating in any meaningful way, certainly when it comes to the creation of content. And when it comes to things like platforms like Google Ads, for example, using AI to modify ad copy is just sort of a no-go, right? Mm-hmm. It just can't. No organization is going to let an AI make decisions about what content is put into the marketplace, especially when it relates to a drug or a device.
Well, that's in relation to AI, using AI to create content, but is AI completely off the table?
I think people would be remiss to say that people are not using it in their jobs, right, to create efficiencies. But there's two lanes here, right? Like if I, have a whole mess of workload and I need a little, I need, to create an efficiency, that's one thing. But allowing the Google machine to mix and match content that you've already gotten pre-approved, totally different story.
There are many useful ways to incorporate it into your workflow, but I think that you have to be judicious about how you do that, and probably have a practice in your agency.
Has this kind of regulation made healthcare marketing maybe more trustworthy? Because we can't rely on hype. There has to be more evidence behind what we're saying, things like that.
Looking at it from the patient side of things, you're talking about something that's very, very personal to people, and you are kind of forced to take the human element out of it. Typically, how we market to people, you want them to see themselves in that real world situation, right? But they're kind of forced to do these very ambiguous commercials or ambiguous photos or pictures, right, of people running through fields, and that's kind of always the joke, right? Or making people not look too healthy or not too sick, or there's just so much thought that goes behind it that if we weren't playing in the space that we're playing in, I probably wouldn't recommend to a client to do that, because I think the best thing that you can do is speak very much like your audience and kind of show them we see you, we hear you. And I don't think you have a lot of opportunity to do that. You can sort of get there, but you can never go all the way there. And I think that that's unfortunate. I think that that's where patient stories really come in and help on both sides of things, because I think practitioners really appreciate hearing from patients that have had good experiences and or bad experiences, because ultimately at the end of the day, they want to help people. And I think patients like hearing from other patients because it feels more real to them. So I think that that's the most powerful types of marketing that you could do in this space, because it feels less like those folks have a real skin in the game, right? It's coming from a real place, a genuine place. So I think that those types of stories are the most compelling and the most believable.
I think that can build more credibility and confidence too. Just seeing real patient stories.
Or even real physicians, like
Yes.
Aaron was saying, like for a medical device company, I think that there's probably nothing more compelling that you could hear other than like one of your peers saying, like, I use this tool, this is how it's helped me, these are the types of cases that I was able to treat or to help, like these are the types of people I was able to help. I think when you're hearing it straight from the people that actually are in the real world situations, it just comes across a lot different.
I think that people are generally distrustful of marketing or what they consider to be marketing, but I think what they're responding to is things that don't seem authentic. For example, if the person being interviewed seemed like an actress or actor, and they may be, but if they really appeared to be that, I think that would be, those kinds of things I think always contribute to people's suspicion about, how accurate or effective what they're seeing is.
Authenticity is key, I think. That's really what it boils down to.
For companies who are seeking approval of a new product or a new indication, when should marketing get involved, and what do those first steps look like?
I think the marketer should be brought in early, and there should be information for them so they can start planning how they're going to go to market. They may already have a particular ethos that they apply to their marketing, and they might already be in that, doing things that way. But letting them know early on about all of the information that's available, and anything about the drug or the device, and where would it be applied, and who uses it, and who benefits from it, not just as patients, but clinicians, hospital administrators, whoever in the healthcare ecosystem, and what things about those products will somehow make things easier, better, better outcomes, better, save money, efficiency, all these things, all of those things should be shared with the marketing organization early on.
That's going to dictate what your message is going to be, what your copy is going to be, what everything comes from that.
Yeah, and then then all those things, because it's based in evidence, you're just telling truth. And then as marketers, your job is to position that in a compelling way, so that the people that are seeing that particular message can connect with it. So Melissa made a comment earlier about, they want to see themselves. So put the person in that organization there, the things that they care about most, those, and the messages addressed to those people, those things that are most important to them should be upfront. Yeah.
Yep. That's it for today's bite-sized chat. Catch you next time on D2 Bites.
And now the cheese.
Cheese. So it's been a while since I've Googled myself, but have you ChatGPT'd yourself yet?
I have not ChatGPT.
You gotta.
I'm a Gemini guy.
Have you Gemini'd yourself?
Yeah.
I have not. I don't think there's enough content on the internet about me for it to do that.
I don't know.
This is your do more D2 Bites.
I was just gonna say this is your third D2 Bites, so there might very well be.
Now you're ahead of me.